Captain Marcus Chun had seen many species during his 15 years aboard the interstellar cargo vessel Prometheus, but none quite like the warrior standing before him in the ship's medical bay. She couldn't have been more than 4 feet tall. Her iridescent blue-green skin marked with intricate scarification that spoke of countless battles. Her large, amber eyes held a fierce intelligence that made Marcus forget her diminutive stature entirely. "Her name is Zara," Dr. Patel explained, checking the translator's settings. "She's from the HFY Warrior caste. We found her escape pod drifting near the Arcturus station wreckage." Marcus nodded grimly. They'd all heard about Arcturus and entire research station obliterated by the Void Hunters, those mechanical nightmares that had been terrorizing the Outer Rim for months. The fact that anyone had survived was miraculous. Zara's breathing was labored, her left arm hanging at an unnatural angle. Purple blood seeped through makeshift bandages wrapped around her torso. Yet she remained standing, her spine rigid with pride that seemed almost comical given her small frame, until Marcus looked into those eyes and saw the steel within. "The HFY don't typically accept medical aid from other species," Dr. Patel whispered. "Their culture considers it." "Shameful." Marcus approached slowly, his hands visible and empty. At 6'2", he towered over the tiny warrior, but he made himself seem as non-threatening as possible. "Zara," he said softly, the translator rendering his words in her melodic language. "I'm Captain Chun. You're safe now." Her amber eyes tracked his movement, calculating, assessing. When she spoke, her voice was like wind chimes in a storm, delicate yet fierce. "I need no sanctuary from a soft-fleshed giant," the translator rendered. "I am HFY. I endure." "I can see that," Marcus replied, genuine admiration in his voice. "You survived when an entire station didn't. That takes incredible strength." Something flickered in her expression, surprise, perhaps, that he acknowledged her achievement rather than her current vulnerability. Dr. Patel stepped forward with a medical scanner, but Zara flinched away, nearly stumbling. Her pride wouldn't let her show weakness, but her body was failing her. Marcus could see the conflict playing out across her alien features. "May I?" Marcus asked, extending his hand palm up toward her uninjured arm. Zara stared at his massive hand. It could have easily encircled her entire forearm. Her people were touch-averse with strangers. He learned from the cultural database. Physical contact was reserved for family, mates, or the ritual of honorable combat. Yet something in his patient stance, the careful way he waited for her permission, seemed to reach her. Slowly, almost trembling, she placed her small hand in his palm. Marcus felt the delicate bones beneath her skin, the way her entire hand disappeared within his gentle grasp. Her flesh was warm, almost feverish, and he could feel the rapid flutter of her pulse through her wrist. She was so small, so fragile despite her warrior's pride. The protective instinct that rose in him was overwhelming, but it was her reaction that stopped him cold. The moment his fingers closed gently around her hand, Zara's entire body began to shake, not from fear realized with dawning wonder, but from something else entirely. Her amber eyes went wide, and a sound escaped her throat that the translator couldn't render, something between a gasp and a sob. She's never been touched gently before," Dr. Patel breathed, his medical scanner forgotten. Marcus understood. Then, the HFY were warriors, bred for conflict. Touch meant combat, pain, dominance. The scars covering Zara's body told the story of a life where physical contact equaled violence or survival. The idea that someone so much larger and stronger would touch her with such careful reverence was completely alien to her experience. "You're shaking," Marcus said softly, his thumb brushing across her knuckles with impossible gentleness. I don't understand," Zara whispered, her voice barely audible. "Why do you handle me as if I were ... double quotes, precious?" Marcus supplied, "Because you are." The words seemed to hit her like a physical blow. Her legs gave out, and Marcus caught her before she could fall, lifting her easily and settling her on the medical bed. She weighed no more than a child, yet carried herself with the dignity of a seasoned general. "I have killed 17 void hunters," she said, as if trying to remind herself of her own worth. "I carved my way out of Arcturus Station while it burned around me. I am a weapon forged in blood and pain." "And you're also someone who deserves to be treated with kindness," Marcus replied, still holding her hand. "Being strong doesn't mean you can't be precious too." Actual tears, began flowing down her scarred cheeks. In her culture, crying was the ultimate shame, yet she couldn't seem to stop. Dr. Patel quietly began his scans, taking advantage of her distraction to assess her injuries. "The humans," Zara said after a long moment. "They said you were soft, weak, that your species succeeded through luck rather than strength." Marcus chuckled. "Maybe we are soft, but sometimes being soft is its own kind of strength." "I don't understand your species," she admitted. "We don't understand ourselves half the time," Marcus replied. "But we've learned that strength comes in many forms. Sometimes the greatest victory is knowing when to be gentle." As Dr. Patel worked to heal her injuries, Zara never let go of Marcus's hand. For the first time in her life, she experienced what it meant to be treated not as a weapon or a tool, but as something infinitely valuable. The human's touch was steady, warm, protective, everything her warrior's conditioning had taught her to distrust, yet somehow exactly what her soul had always craved. When the medical treatment was complete, Zara looked up at Marcus with something like wonder. "Your species," she said slowly. "Perhaps they are not as weak as we believe." Marcus smiled. "Maybe we're not strong in the way you're used to, but we're strong enough to recognize strength in others and gentle enough to treat precious things with the care they deserve." 3 months later, when the Prometheus reached Keth for space, Zara had become an unofficial ambassador between their species. She spoke of humans not as soft giants, but as people who possess the rarest strength of all, the power to be kind without weakness, gentle without surrender. And sometimes, late at night, she would look at her scarred hands and remember the moment a human giant had held her like she was made of starlight, teaching her that even the fiercest warriors could be precious too.